biggie man.
Anything you do, no the Russian. Keep pride, but I come down. Make your own
Yeah, but now you be the baller if you think you say you bug more deal. At the ODD, to pen, it done take. Yeah, the final whistle before you kick off and you still won't play with you now. Tell me you bow and beg, make it show you. Let me you bounce on your man, make me get there. Shakoteri, koronye, me lick back there. Billy my watch, la go, yeah, the trumpet. Jeje, mumona, jeje, I go give the pepe.
Biggie man. Biggie. Anything you do, no the Russian. If you keep pride, but I come down. Make your own.
Shout out to Rimas collaborating with Obaringi with the record called Biggie Man. And before that, we listened to Wendy Shea, that's the right word for it. Wendy Shea collaborating with the one and only Calvin Boy on their record called Odo. You're listening to Africa Unfocused with MS.ABA and Donny. And we are back again, of course, to talk to you and highlight about a lot of things that is going on the continent. And earlier on, we were talking about, debunking the myths surrounding COVID-19. What is the most outrageous thing that you have heard about COVID-19? We would really like to know. First, we talked about earlier on that, it doesn't harm your fertility. It doesn't alter your DNA. You're not going to grow some third arm from the vaccine. Actually, research has proven that it's not so. So we would really, really love to know, what has been some of the myths that you have been hearing about. Have you gotten vaccinated or not? Let us know so that we could talk about that. We're back again to Africa on Focus. Here is where we highlight Africa's success stories. And we talk about all things that are going on the continent. If you are tuning in on Facebook, we just want to give you a warm welcome. Give us a shout out. Let us know where you are listening from. Also, shout out to our listeners through www.HiRadioNl.com, which is our official website. Tune in. All of our partnering radio platforms, of course, that are also tuning in from there. Shout out to you. We can't see you. We can't hear you, but we really would like to let you know that we know that you are listening. Shout out to you on this beautiful Sunday. It's about 20 past 8 p.m. coming to you live from the city of Amsterdam and here on High Radio, Amsterdam's most dynamic satellite radio station that promotes African culture to Africans in the diaspora. Shout out to Delali, who is a colleague here, High Street Entertainment represent. You can listen to his show on Saturdays, of course. But now we are here. We're talking about Africa on Focus. A lot have been going on. Fix the country, Donny. Man, we received backlash for talking about it. People went wild, and they finally took it to the streets. They finally did. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Did you follow any of the highlights?
Yeah. I mean, last week we reported that they were looking into having this demonstration and what it actually would mean for the whole campaign.
Yeah.
If they were to. And I personally said that they need a demonstration
to take it to the
streets,
yeah.
Right? Because, that would actually bring so much more, let's say, will push the agenda to a higher place. But also, the risk with that is the fact that if it goes out of hand, then it will blow up in their faces.
Yeah.
That, as saying, this is the reason why the leadership doesn't do anything regarding you guys. Who literally are there just complaining about this and that. Go and demonstrate, and you're tearing up things. But luckily, that's not how things went down in
no, it didn't go in style of Nigeria and SARS thing.
No.
I also didn't expect it to go that way. It could go either way, obviously.
Yeah.
But in general, they say Ghanaians don't like to see blood. They like to see dead bodies, but not blood.
No.
And share with us some of those highlights, man.
So in general, it was a quite peaceful protest.
Right.
Looking at the pictures that Al Jazeera had displayed or posted, things looked pretty peaceful, and the crowd was also good. People showed up for the protests. You didn't see any cars getting burned down, or let's say confrontation with the law enforcement. So that
Yeah.
is good. Several thousand protesters marched in Ghana's capital, Accra, on Wednesday under the slogan "Fix the Country," the latest rally against President Nana Akufo-Addo's government. Dressed in red and black and chanting patriotic songs, protesters waved placards, declarations, "Corruption breeds poverty," and "Fix our education system now," as they march in the city center. Wednesday's rally marks the most recent anti-government protest since March, when a top court dismissed the main opposition party's challenge to Akufo-Addo's re-election late last year. Akufo-Addo won a second term with only small majority in parliament. And also, Ghana is often applauded as one of the stable democracies
Yeah,
in a
indeed.
region troubled by political strife and religious violence. But last year's tightly contested vote heightened political tension. So this was the reason why in March there was a protest. But since
Yeah.
then, there hadn't been any protest until the Fix the Country protest,
Yeah.
which is led by social media activists. The Fix the Country protest on Twitter had been highlighting economic problems and government management. If the political authorities will not fix the country, we want to tell them that we are capable of destroying their careers because we brought them in to power, said Fatima Mensah, who's a 35-year-old activist. Some also criticized Akufo-Addo's project to build a new $200 million national cathedral, a pledge he says he made after his 2016 election victory. Ghanaians have been asked to make a voluntary $16 monthly donation to help finish it by 2024.
I mean, you're even laughing at it. You're like, what?
Here's the thing. Why do we waste time on unnecessary ventures and leave the most important issues? Say Abuaje Da Costa, a shoe shiner. This is $200 million. The question is,
What for the cathedral?
for the cathedral.
Oh, wow.
What else can we do with $200 million? Can we can we not build an entire infrastructure, like a new highway, or fix the current highway that we have with that amount of money? If so,
Good question.
why a cathedral, and which is based on a promise he personally made, a pledge he made for winning the election? Like,
Yeah.
how is that in the interest of Ghana's?
Yeah.
Or is that in the interest of yours? But clearly he is saying that you can voluntarily donate $16. But the question is, if they don't donate, or he doesn't get the money, will he use the government money? Will you use taxpayer money to do the cathedral?
Where does it come from?
Or what? But this is also to show where the priorities are with the leaders of the nation.
Yeah.
Right? Are they more focused on the nation, or are they actually focused on their personal words or personal pledges they make to other people? But that is the main focus of this fix the country. And again, looking at the pictures, people showed up from all generations, thousands of people, old men, old women, and just the ordinary people too.
Yeah.
But I'm also keen to find out, are there any politicians behind, in support of the Fix the Country campaign? That is really what I want to find out as well. Or like, what politicians support this? How many politicians are behind the fact that, hey, yes, we have to do better, we can do better, we shouldn't spend senseless money on on, let's say, the first ladies or on cathedrals, let's spend the money wisely. Like, how many leaders do take this position and also
we take this in,
and take that blame that, hey, yes, you're right, we have to do better, and what are the ways that we can do better?
I well, could it be maybe just to save face, right? They wouldn't be able to have a standpoint because they would have to ensure that their standpoint supports whoever party they're a part of.
Right. And then so that's why someone said we have to show this demonstration was necessary for us, because we have to show you guys that we are the ones who put you into power. We voted you into office.
Right.
So yes, we do have the right, or we can also vote you out of that. To what extent that is true, I do not know, but they are definitely applying pressure to the officials and saying that, hey, you guys better do the right thing, because you might have won this election, but the next one might be going somewhere else. So yeah.
And just at the start of the 4 years that we still have to go through. So I hope, as a much of a fan I am of this current president, you know, I hope that he, I mean, everybody gets their challenge, you know, but it's really what you do with it.
It is really what you do with it. And I hope he listens. I hope he, you know, the administration really looks into, all right, like, what are they saying? What, because people are also, let's say, tired. In Ghana, the Ghana politicians have this awful attitude or behavior of scratching, like not building up on things. And actually, maybe we can spend an episode on this, but it's familiar within the entire, I can speak for Ghanaians, the Ghanaian culture or Ghanaian mentality. For a simple example, how many times have you heard people within the same family, I'm going to build my own house? Meanwhile, that of their fathers and mothers not even finished yet.
It's not finished, or they don't like the area or whatever.
Right. But then they go out and start a new building.
Right.
And so the other one is left unfinished and probably has to be broken down, and then they sell the land or whatnot. And they use the money to start a new one. But they don't finish it, and they probably have sisters or uncles who are also building something somewhere else.
Right.
So you just don't get the job done, and people, it's half job that you do.
Yeah.
Politicians do the same thing, or let's say administrations have the same attitude. This one will start this building or this project, huge project, halfway.
Yeah.
They don't get voted. They don't win the election for the next one. The next party comes in and actually starts another project somewhere else. Instead of finishing this one, they're like, yeah, we're not the one who started it. So they, you know, we promised this is what we were going to do, so this is what they start.
Yeah.
And then until the next person comes in and say, hey, let's finish this one. But because I've read, like, in Ghana, there are a lot of highways, a lot of projects that they started, or the NDC
and
started,
didn't finish
simply because they were outvoted, or the next party came into election and into power.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, wasn't on our agenda, so why should we finish this?
Yeah.
Bad, really, really, really bad attitude. And the people are the ones suffering from this. Not the politician, but we the people are suffering from this.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And this is basically one of those things that, you know, the ordinary person, the shoe shiner or whatever, just really wants to have solved, so that there could be basic, you know, needs fulfilled, just having ordinary jobs and things like that, and all of that comes along. So I definitely understand the frustration that is there in all of this.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
I definitely understand that. Man, so wherever you are listening from, fix the country Ghana. Our Ghana listeners, we would really love to know, were you there demonstrating? Were you there around, to ensure that your voice was being heard? How did that go? And we know that our listeners who are based in Ghana have so much to say about it. Not only the conditions that they are in, but also, if they really took it to the streets. Or did you say maybe due to COVID, I will stay home? But looking from the picture side, a lot, and it was very well represented. Fix the country Ghana. Ghana, how's it going at your end? Fix the country Ghana. Did you go and demonstrate? Did you go and protest against the conditions that have now really, really taken the attention of the whole nation and internationally as well? Let's talk about it, but first, let's listen to Nafi Mar with her record called Sunshine, and we'll be right back.
You're my sunshine when the days are blue, my strong tower, the one that I run to.
Shout out to Nafi Ma for bringing freshness to our speakers with her record called Sunshine. The upcoming Ghanaian soulful singer just blesses us with these good vibes on this lovely Sunday. And you are listening to Africa on Focus with MS.ABA and Donny, where we bring to you the highlights of what's happening on the continent. Fix the country Ghana. We are talking about that right now. I'm really, really interested to know how that has been going on the ends. On the other end of the world, actually. Have you been protesting? Did you go there? And did you do something, about what had been going on by really showing your voice and really joining in? Let us know what you think. Let us know what you're feeling. Here live on Hi Radio. Shout out to you if you just tuned in via Facebook or YouTube. Shout out to you. Make sure that you like and press that subscribe or follow button so that you stay in tune with us. We are talking about a lot of things, and what I also would like to know, as we will come back on the hashtag Fix the Country Ghana, man, what's been going on in South Africa? I hear that the ex-president Zuma is admitted to the hospital for medical observation.
Wasn't he jailed like last week or 2 weeks ago.
I know he was jailed. Well, South Africa's jailed former president Jacob Zuma has been admitted to the hospital less than a week before he is due in court on further charges of corruption. Isn't that like the fate? Not the fate. I don't think I should say the fate. But isn't that like what a lot of African leaders get in trouble for?
Yeah, a lot. Many times.
Right.
Many times. It's it's it's
The same story, right?
It's the same story. Exactly that.
Yeah. So then it's like you have to ask, okay, what makes it? Is it just difficult to be all the way through 100% righteous? I think that's a difficult thing to do. Or let's just say we are observing it to be a challenge. Well, the South African Prison Department said a routine examination at the jail in KwaZulu-Natal, where Mr. Zuma is being held, prompted the authorities to take him to a hospital outside the prison for further observation.
I'm not buying it. But anyway.
You think he's just started feeling just well because he needed what? Well,
are you for real?
Well, as a former head of state, Zuma was being treated at a military facility, the authorities said. His foundation said it was an annual medical routine checkup and there was no need to be alarmed yet. Zuma has been serving 15-month prison sentence since 7 July for contempt of court. And next week, the former president is scheduled to appear in person in court on a separate issue, an arms deal corruption case. He has pleaded not guilty to involvement in the £5 billion deal, and more than 300 people were killed during violence and looting sparked by his arrest last month. 300 is a lot.
Yeah, it was bad. We've seen the pictures. Whole city burned down. 300, but. Yeah, $5 billion.
Yes.
Deal $5 billion, £3 billion armed deal corruption case. I wonder with who.
I wonder, and if that is a case that has been a recent thing or during his reign.
Oh, during his reign. Mind you, he's been in power for what? 28 years or something. It's been there for a long time. And the good thing is, his successor, so the current president, is also ready to testify against Jacob Zuma. Yeah,
isn't that crazy? Because at the same time he's regarded as a hero, in some case. Yeah. What is this president gonna do? What is all about that? Because that's the part that I just couldn't grasp.
So, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is poised to testify against his former counterpart Jacob in the ongoing case against state capture that is slated to resume on August 11th. On August 11th and 12th, the president will first complete his evidence relating to the ANC in its capacity as the current president and former deputy president of the party, and thereafter give evidence and be questioned in his capacity as the current president and former deputy president of the country, said Commission Secretary Prof. Itumeleng Mosala. Ramaphosa is expected to testify as the former deputy president and also as the current leader of the ruling African National Congress. According to the statement by the commission, Ramaphosa will testify on matters relating to his tenure as the deputy president. The president will first complete his evidence relating to the ANC in his capacity as the current president and former deputy president, and thereafter give evidence and be questioned in his capacity as the current president and former deputy president of the country, said the commission. So basically, he is open for trial, let's say for hearing.
Right.
So he's one of those that they will call, during trial, then also ask questions. The judge or the jury or the lawyers will ask questions relating to the case which is being brought against
Well,
the
yeah.
former president.
Well, yeah, it's a lot to take in. I mean, he's facing 16 charges of fraud, graft, racketeering, related to the 1999 purchase of fighter jets, patrol boats, and equipment from 5 European arm firms when he was deputy president. And he's also accused of taking bribes from one of the firms, French defense giant Thales, which has been charged with corruption and money laundering. South Africa, has been rocked by the worst violence since the nation achieved democracy in 1994. So the unrest is serious. Supporters in his home province of KwaZulu Natal set up roadblocks on major highways and burned about 20 trucks. So let's just say, this generation would call it his beehive is quite, quite strong. Just to say that. One thing about this list of corruption with the African leaders is that, in general, when you do business, on the continent and things like that, it is a lot of time customs to bring, along an extra bag of money or something like that. And it turns off people that come, from this highly transparent environments. It just turns them off, and they're like, no, this is corruption. And in its sense, it is, but by culture, not culture, I can't say it's a culture, but by, let's just say, moral code or code of conduct, it isn't. No. So that is a lot of conflict that happens. The fact that he's charged, really, I won't say it surprises me, but I'm like, wow. So if this is the charges that he is arrested for, then let's then start making a whole line of all of the other, African leaders who are guilty of these things.
Yeah. It's correct. It's corruption within the, let's say, within the African corporate culture. Is it seen as normal? Is it actually a necessity? I would say that in general, the idea of corruption is not excluded to only African corporate world or African business. It's everywhere. If you, the Americans have been accused of corruption, are being accused. Russia, corruption. China, so corruption in general is everywhere. It depends on what kind of corruption or how it looks like. That face changes. With us, with Africans, it's like, just get a bag of money. Yeah. I know corruption in the Western world is when you have a mother company that buys up a company and it becomes, let's say, a subsidiary, and in turn they sell so-called revenues, or they finance the subsidiary and have that money come back to them, just to evade tax. That is also a form of corruption. However, this is seen as tax evasion. Okay. But it's corruption. You just have a different face. So, corruption is everywhere. Yeah. And I was talking with one of my brothers, and within finance, there's this triangle that they use to, it's like this times that or plus that leads to corruption. I think you had incentive, you have institution, and there was one other. But when those three combined, you find people who are, it's more likely to be corrupted than others. Right. So corruption is everywhere. The chances are there, the opportunities there, the people are there. But over here, we have the systems in place to stop certain corruption.
No BS taken.
Exactly. You cannot just give money in a briefcase to someone you haven't like Nana Akufo-Addo was right before the election last year. Right. There was this video where he was receiving money in an envelope from.
Okay, I missed that.
Oh, you missed it? Oh,
I missed
they
that.
were literally. There was see how corrupted he is. He was receiving money for this and that, and which was to secure a position for that person or that woman's husband, which was within the party. Also, all that. You cannot do that here in the Dutch politics.
You can't.
You cannot just give money or transfer money through ING or send a tiki. Hey.
Oh hell no! No.
We can trace it. We can do this and that.
Yeah.
Those things are traceable, so you won't find corruption in that manner.
Right.
So, however, you will find corruption somewhere else, obviously, but not in this manner. So, let's say in Africa we're just dealing with a corruption on this level because there are no systems in place to check that.
To check it, right.
But trust me, once the systems are put in place, like here, the corruption will be ongoing, but just on a different level or in a different, will wear a different suit.
Right.
But it's gonna be there.
Interesting. Well, it's an interesting case. I think then in that case, just like you're explaining it, the definition of corruption is like almost subjective.
Yeah.
Almost. If you're not careful, because it's like it comes out in different forms per nation or continent.
I may be doing something which I find it's only right for me to do that.
Right.
However, within some another person might see that as corruption, and like you said, it's because we don't share the same code of conduct. We don't share the same moral code, right? And it's it's a moral thing. Corruption, it's I would say it's a moral thing. Of course, it has legal justification, also implications. But overall, when people discuss it, like we are discussing it on the radio show right now, it becomes more of a moral thing than a legal issue or debate.
True. Man, well, that is South Africa. South Africa is on the continent considered as, let's say, almost the Europe of the continent. And we even have a community there. Ghanaian community is there represented just like, they are in what's it called? Holland.
Oh, no.
The size would probably be different, but, the community is there. So I would really like to know from those of you, are they right or are they wrong for arresting former president? And what would you do? In the meantime, let's just listen to a new bit of Sarkodie's latest album, No Pressure, which we, at the radio station have also been encouraging here for people to listen. Let's listen to his latest record called Rollies and Guitar. We'll be right back to talk some more about what's going on in Africa. Let's go.
So from Timberland.
Yeah. No pressure. Nah. Yeah. Came a long way, time and now they got the talk for the while on the record. Took a long break, you people bought, but I said I'll be back in a second. Yeah. Obisi Kofitela, I said the Jimmy in the cassette. This time your charges said that I won't forget to gas them on guard. 24/7, we put in the work over time, but we try to keep down on the low. Uncountable records, I leave on the streams. Me home play me to get back on the road. You go for skip all the movement to music, the sack of the story, they gotta be told. The only nigga will show you the way. Go over decade, but still I be cold. All of you rappers are lacking the key. Besides how I do this for long. 10 years, every time it be me. Everyone else is just tagging along. Me coming, mommy, my kuma, you free. Now mocha from me home, it's in the dance. I be the definition of a G. Mocha send me to close or prawns. Who feel it? This shit is just cup of tea to me. I go fi handle it easily. I go just hand over peacefully. Mumbra mo hwase na mu Jimmy. Me pose kra mun to me. Me fans and say me my heat or more multiply. Or my say to Jimmy. Used to hustle on the corner. Now me shy, come last. Now I do what I wanna. If I was sound, come gas. What to them came manner. Oh, side broad chas. See, I know fake friends. Only rollies and cigars. Only rollies and cigars. Only rollies and cigars. See, I know fake friends. Only rollies and cigars. Only rollies and cigars. Only rollies and cigars. Yeah. See, I know fake friends. Yeah. Only rollies and cigars. On the road to perfection, I drop all these classics and move to the next. And I'm still at the top. Got your niggas so vexed, so don't call me the best. Point of correction, there's no competition. This is not election. Or behind your size, that is out of the question. Fuck all this rappers, the man, cause I'm flexing. All that they need is just love and affection. They crave for attention, but whoa. They want me to stop, cause the more that I rap, I just make it so hard for them. Tell them the realest is back, so shut up, nobody should fuck with them. Y'all won't compare me to packing them. Me me rapping if y'all come just for the record, damn if y'all task, if I start saying twice, who was striking them. Some more time I can go all the way. 40 verses I record in a day. Sack Nation, sorry for the delay. Lunchtime, it's a bimbo buffet. Stay fresh, can't fuck with a drip. Say less, very soon I go flip. Kill when, some movies I go dip. Bad bitch, just stop in a whip. Man, I remember when I just to come up. Brought out the right verses till the sun up. So I'm a battle, so I couldn't come out. When you the pray, make you pray for my mama. So see, I know my voice in your equity. My kiddie go feel the take low. People they pay for the high. A bimbo the young ringtone. Street boy from the ground up. Yeah, yana easy with the break bone. Me checking my pay slip. The tax cry, yeah, we take home. Used to hustle on the corner. Now me shy, coming last. Now I do what I wanna. If I was sign, coming gas. Most of them came manner. Oh, side broad chas. See, I know fake friends. Only rollies and cigars. Only rollies and cigars. Only rollies and cigars. See, I know fake friends. Only rollies and cigars. Only rollies and cigars. Only rollies and cigars. See, I know fake friends. Only rollies and cigars.
Oh man, that's a whole vibe. Shout out to Sarkodie with what's it called, Rollies and Cigar. And also shout out to Phil Beans. I see you on Instagram. He said you need a collabo with Sark, some Grammy-ish. I co-sign on that. Thank you, Phil Beans. But we are here on Africa Unfocused. Welcome back here on this lovely Sunday, almost hitting 9 p.m. from the city of Amsterdam. Hi Radio is Amsterdam's most dynamic satellite radio station, and we present to you all kinds and all things African to and from the diaspora. That's really what we are about here. And just want to welcome you again for tuning in with us and having this conversation. We talked about hashtag Fix the Country Ghana, it being taken to the streets finally. And also we talked about a president, South Africa's ex-president Zuma. The riots and looting that have been going on South Africa have been extreme. People killed. And supposedly recently Zuma was admitted to the hospital for medical observation. We are talking about that. But first, shout out to everybody who's listening through our web platform. If you just stumbled upon us on Facebook, on YouTube, welcome to Africa Unfocused, where we share our success stories. Also, the recap of our shows are to be listened on podcasts on all streaming platforms. We also happen to be on Patreon as we are growing our community. Patreon is an international platform to grow our community who want to see us access our next level. Our first goal is once we reach our 100 people, we are acquiring a video editor and copywriter that can help us to create more captivating and informative video content highlighting stories of global Africans. We will grow Africa Unfocused to good docuseries platform to showcase how global Africans build and grow their business, creative, and communities, from everything ranging from, let's say, $2 or $5 a month, or €5 a month. You can support and keep the movement going. If you want to know more, make sure that you visit www.patreon.com/Africa Unfocused, have access to exclusive talks, behind the scenes videos, and be the first to receive our podcast episodes. And also I'm sharing tips on broadcasting, from podcasting, presenting, to starting your own radio show for all content creators. Man, what else is new? I've read about this news highlights is a Senegalese man dresses as a woman to sit exam on behalf of girlfriend. What is going on? What is that all about?
Would you have your partner do the same?
Man, you know, here in Holland, fraud, that's the corruption, right? That we hear. is taken so seriously that I wouldn't even try, because they would like charge me for 20 years like I killed someone. Seriously.
But we have all kind of like, let's say, cheated during exam somewhere within our life.
It never worked. It never worked because by the time
have you attempted?
I
have tried.
I tried the peak, but that was it. You know what I mean? Oh, I tried.
Like
I tried the
neighbor?
one. I tried the notes in my hat. But that one also. Listen, I wasn't wild enough to like go through it all along. What did you do?
Wait, so I remember, and this is the best cheating story ever. Like,
Okay.
so we were having exam, and I don't know what happened, but I had to sit in front. Well, I liked sitting in front of the classroom. Also, I like to sit like in the corners or somewhere.
Okay.
But in this case, I was literally in front of the teacher.
Yeah.
And we had like this small exam or whatnot.
Oh no, you did
But
something stupid.
my book. So once when the exam is about to start, they're like, put your book away and this and that. So I put my book on her table or his table. I don't remember who this was. And I opened the book.
Did it work? It worked. Oh wow.
I'd opened the book, and I was actually looking in the book. Also, I was doing this the exam, and the teacher was sitting right there.
Is it?
I had
Oh wow.
no idea.
So what did you get for it? Like,
My mark?
yeah, your mark.
Oh, I have no idea. But apparently, I passed.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I did pass. But
Good for you.
It was like when you do it in their face, or when it's that close to someone, they just don't know.
That is like, just you are bold enough, so you know. Okay.
But when you try to sneak, like literally do it under the table and this
Yeah.
and that, that's when
That's where you get in trouble.
Yeah, that's when they become suspicious. If people put it within the etui.
Right.
And then they put it in there, and
The pen box.
what do you keep looking for in your pen box? And then people go into that for like 15 times, and then
Right.
okay, something's up, like there's something in there. I never tried that. I would,
Right.
either I don't know, I would do it like by code,
Right.
write 2 or 3 things, the things I knew I was going to mess up,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like be okay. XXXS means this and that, like that. But never like full blown. Just have a whole paper where I put it under my desk and keep like that. I mean, that is pretty serious.
Yeah. But they see through that in this
They see
time.
through
There are many tries and everything, so they are like, listen, cut it out.
Yeah. But it is a totally different thing to ask someone else to come sit your
Exactly.
exam for
That's
you.
a whole
Man.
nother level. So what happened was a Senegalese student was detained Monday after he disguised himself as a woman in a bid to sit for national examination on behalf of his girlfriend. And the student enrolled in a university in the north of the country, and his girlfriend were placed under arrest on Monday evening. Wow. They will be tried on Thursday with his girlfriend for exam fraud, their lawyer said Tuesday. The couple is to be tried on Thursday, August 5th for exam fraud and complicity fraud. So I really, really like to keep up with that because that means it happened. By the court of Diourbel, the prosecutor said. The student, whose age was not disclosed, had moved to Diourbel to take the exams for his girlfriend, a student in a high school in this city, according to the prosecution. Bonnie and Clyde on this one. Photos posted on social networks depicted him wearing a red dress with black patterns, wearing a veil with the same colors, and a black shawl to deceive the invigilators. He was surprised on Saturday, the third day of the exam during the English test by the supervisors, who, according to the press, noticed that something was wrong with his attire. Then they reported him to the police, who arrested him and his girlfriend, who was waiting for him in a hostel in the city, according to the same source. Oh man, this is hilarious.
This is cute. I don't know, when I read it, I was like, oh, this is a life story, you know, a love
I know,
story,
right?
like that
Yeah.
Bonnie and Clyde thing. It was, oh,
man. Wow, man. I pray they make it through this relationship
Me
to be able to
too.
tell their kids.
I hope they, you know, they have, like, let's say, mercy. You know, just
Yeah,
show a
I
bit
do.
of mercy.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
hope.
an exam. They're not trying to kill someone or
No,
anything.
no.
And you know, he's clearly older than her. And this is high school exam. It's not a university or.
I know, right?
So, hey. Yeah. You know, let them just, you know, wash some dishes or whatnot.
Or just do some
punishment.
Their tax stuff. I don't know what that is.
Exactly.
Please,
then,
please,
you know,
please don't let us hear anything crazy, because that's funny at the same time.
It's so cute. Would I do it? Would I ever? I think. Yeah,
it's too much out of the box. Yeah,
outfit too.
It's too much out of the box to do that in this country. Like,
no, okay, not in this country, but
yeah.
Would I go that far? Like dress up for my girlfriend,
for your girlfriend,
and pretend to be hers just to cover us? I mean.
It's quite extreme. Like, is English so hard that your boyfriend has to dress like you? I don't know.
Was it for an English exam?
Yeah, one of them was English exam, man. But that one is for the records. I mean,
yeah, English test.
It is, man. Well, let's move on to Kenya, and I would like to know, for fellas, would you dress up for your girlfriend to do her exam? Is your love that deep? How deep is your love?
Yeah, you know what? Men who are like really in love, like they would do.
They would do it, right?
They would do anything.
Wow. That's really love. So let us know, man. All the men listening, would you do that for your girlfriend? Would you go and take her test? Jerry J, shout out to you. Would you go for your girlfriend and do her exam test? Wonder Way, shout out to you as well. Would you let your boyfriend do your exam test? Because I know you are a doctor. And you just graduated, because I would really like to hear from you. Oh man, just doubts, hesitance on which news flash to drop, because one would, you know, have so much of a discussion.
Oh, which one?
Which one should we choose? Should we go for Kenya, or should we go for the LGBTQ plus? Okay, so it seems that the Ghana court frees 21 arrested for attending May LGBTQ event, or LGBTQ plus event. A Ghanaian court has acquitted and freed physician associate, not a doctor. I'm so sorry, Wonderway. I knew it was somewhere in the health area. Physician associate. Thanks for correcting me. A Ghanaian court has acquitted and freed 21 people who were arrested during a crackdown on homosexuality in May for attending an LGBTQ plus event. Gay sex is a criminal offense in the West African country, and members of the LGBTQ plus community often face discrimination. A proposed new law that would impose tougher sentences and criminalize LGBTQ plus advocacy received its first reading in Ghana's parliament this week. It had really been going on Twitter a lot. Those arrested in May, which were 16 women and 5 men, were detained for unlawful assembly in Ho, in the southeastern Volta region, where they were taking part in a meeting for LGBTQ plus advocates. If we look on this, well, they were actually freed. That I think that is positive. If we just go for a bit of flashback of you know how things went, all of the celebrities, of course, you know, the world, they go all of it. We Twitter is like the place we can go on and start movements. So people from the likes of Idris Elba, Naomi Campbell, and the designer Virgil Abloh signed a letter of support for LGBTQ plus Ghanaians this year, expressing concern at the discrimination that they face. It's quite of a difference because, you know, here in this environment, everything is so free, whereas in the motherland, this is really what, you know, we're really looking at. A sensitive time actually for the country's president, because I can understand that is not entirely his focus right now, as hashtag Fix the Country is also going. Nana Akufo-Addo, who is reaching out to African Americans and the Ghanaian diaspora to encourage people to return to their ancestral country, that is also inviting supporters for this particular group. Yes. So it is definitely something that, you know, the Ghanaian parliament or wherever their stance is to sit down and to really consider this.
Yeah, definitely. And it happened when they had opened a new office, was it? In support of the gay agenda.
Yeah,
or the
yeah. Because I think the meeting was held there.
Closed down by police officers when we reported this last time. Yeah. So it's good. They're free.
Yeah.
They're free. Working on legislation or something to prevent it from happening next time. I mean, as long as they have the right or they're exercising their rights, you know, there is no need to arrest them and also put them through in jail or captivity for unnecessary stuff.
Right.
But you know.
Well, thankful that free, you know, they can live their lives and go about, and let's keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Latest. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was about to say that. Ghanaians, individuals. I mean, people. We don't really care that much. You rarely hear in cases of gays or being mistreated or gays being harassed and this. And that. So. You know, overall, we know how to go about it. Yeah, in a peaceful manner. So
this is quite extreme in terms of of Ghana, but the topic is being raised, and let's see how it will turn out. We've talked about this on Let's Chat Africa a lot. So like, if we even see Africa going there. Which to me, probably not, because it's not on the priority list now. But hey, you know, as long as I always don't like it when people are being chased around and being mistreated and things like that. That just goes too far. So that was that highlight. Last highlight, shout out to Wonderway, who said, yes, I will let him know I'm tired of exam. She would let her boyfriend actually do her exam.
Would you dress him up, put on the wig?
You would dress him up, put on the makeup, all of that on him. That is funny. Well, shout out to Ghana, because we secured a bronze medal at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Shout out to Samuel Techi, who loses out to classy Team USA boxer Duke Reagan in the semifinal, but he reached the semifinal and got himself bronze. We are definitely proud of him. Samuel Techi has won a boxing bronze medal at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, Ghana's first podium finish in 29 years. But his incredible Olympic journey came to an end in the semifinals at the hand of the USA Duke Reagan. The Golden Ring Warrior, which is his AKA name, has gone from unfancied selection on the Ghana team to featherweight podium glory, with more than 30 million people in his corner. Up against 30 million, does that mean Ghanaians? Yeah, okay. Up against a more experienced boxer in 23-year-old Reagan, Techi once again left it all in the ring and pushed his opponent all the way, eventually losing out on a 4-1 split decision. Techi started strong and scoring on sharp jabs and using his height advantage, taking the first round to 3 versus 2. All of that, those are things that boxers know, those scoring. I didn't. One thing I want to know, Donny, have you even followed the Olympics?
No. No, I don't follow the Olympics. I haven't been following the Olympics. I don't even know why.
I know, right?
Life is busy, MS.ABA.
All right. Well, I got that.
And it's, you know, and because it's in Tokyo, it's during the night.
That's funny. Life is busy. Ain't nobody got time for Olympics. Gotcha.
I mean, we'll follow up on the results, but Ghana is like who do I support? The Netherlands?
Oh well, Netherlands actually had their record of wins.
They have a lot of medals.
Yeah, a lot of medals. I
think they have 7 gold, I believe, and In total, they are 18 medals in total or more, I believe, which is pretty good.
Right. Pretty good. Very impressive. I think in general, you know, the Dutch do well when it comes to sport. The discipline is high. And they got gold in field hockey, which is their thing. Cycling is Dutch thing. Record breaking of 36 medals.
10 gold medals. Wow,
that's pretty impressive.
Last time I checked, they had 18, but
18.
I mean, last time I checked, they had only 18 medals, but now they have 36 medals. That's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Above Germany and France. Yeah, because I know Germany, they also have a lot of people participating in the Olympics.
Right.
And France also have a good turnout. Wow.
They did. Not that I've, been, but, they also won on, crazy sports that have been added throughout the years. For instance, KNW Cycling Association won the most medals in Tokyo. In totals, the Netherlands placed in the top 12 times in various cycling disciplines, which, makes sense. Lavraisen took home 2 gold, and cyclist Shanna Braspenix, Nick Kimman, as well as BMX athlete Annemiek van Vleuten all won 1 gold medal. Well, shout out to the Netherlands for doing that. And of course, also shout out to our own winner, who is Samuel Techi, who is he returns to Ghana as a hero, bringing a bronze with him that represents Ghana's first boxing medal since 1972, and their first in any sport since the football team won bronze at Barcelona 92. Look at that. You know who I always happen to be proud of, and that's just by the way, Jamaicans, man. Jamaicans.
How are they doing? Jamaicans have 9 medals. Yep, 9 medals, 4 gold and 4 bronze. And I believe the 4 gold is from a relay running, I believe, finals. Yeah, they won. Yeah, the relay men's 4x4.
Okay.
Of course, they're going to win that one.
Of course, they're going to win. They're going to nail it. Man.
And the women's, the women also relay final bronze medal. The Jamaicans. I'm not sure if they've done the single, like the most popular one, which is the sprints.
Oh yeah, the sprint. Oh man, they fly over that.
I'm not sure if they've already done that one, but so far, let's say no results from that or no medals from that. So maybe they still have to do those races, or they didn't win anything, which is also a possibility, because it's not every Olympia that you're going to win something, right?
It's not.
So yeah,
definitely isn't. Well, shout out to you. Who's watching the Olympics? Well, as we are almost rounding up Africa Unfocused, just a few shout outs to those that have been listening and tuning in with us. Shout out to the CEO, John Royals, who says they don't want to legalize polygamy, but talking about LGBT plus in Parliament. David, Abraham, Solomon, etc. in Bible married more than one wife. What are you saying? What does that mean? Like, are you more pro polygamous and all of that?
Yeah, what do you mean? Do you need an extra wife?
I know. Do you want talk to us? That is kind of a by the way thing, wasn't it? That Oliver pointed out that we easily switch to the Bible as regarding that as our history, but there's like a whole line of history that's directly linked to Ghana or West Africa that is to be shared. But yeah, he's right. Polygamy is definitely on Africa's top thing.
I want to have a guest
who is pro polygamous.
Yeah, or who is interested or actually makes it his work or her work,
right?
I'm talking about, like, let's say relationships or African families.
Okay.
And for us to also dive into these topics with an expert on that,
we should definitely find that. We will somewhere find it in our line of community
It
or
will come
whatever.
back, definitely.
Yes, absolutely. Another shout out to John Roy, who says, I will only dress and write exams for my woman only if she swore by Antoine Fetish Priest that if she breaks my heart, that God should use him for barbecue. Oh, that is hard. That's a strong pact that you're making.
She'd be like, you know what? I would just, write my own next time. Right?
I know, right? I know. And shout out to Wanda Way, who just who said shout out to him, and with that she meant Samuel Techi, who won the run for Ghana. Man, we've reached the end of Africa on Focus. Any plans for this week, as August has quite begun? We're in the beginning of August.
Mm-hmm.
No plans.
No plans.
Just the normals.
Just the usuals. Every week, the usual week.
Right.
Like I said, I want to dance a bit more, but
yeah,
I'll keep that for myself.
Then he started Kizomba.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I won't share a secret. But I'll leave you.
See you guys next week. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining Africa on Focus, coming to you live from HiRadio, the voice of the next generation. We are Amsterdam's most dynamic satellite station. Make sure that you keep an eye on our social media pages. Visit www.HiRadioNl.com as we streamline loads of other content for you. We have the Y Zone on Fridays. We have Sylvia Kendi, who will be coming back soon with East African Sound, and also High Street Entertainment that highlights West African Afrobeats music. We have a lot in store for you. Make sure that you follow us on all social media pages, and also make sure that you follow me, MS.ABA, your host, on Instagram, YouTube, all of that, and everywhere. Make sure that you stream my latest, my debut EP called Rooted. It's some good meditation stuff for you, man. I promise. But anyway, if you missed any episode of Africa on Focus, you can find us on all your streaming platforms, as the podcast is the recap of our show. We will meet you on to next time. Let's close off with a good song, which I think should be a true classic. Let's dive into some Kodrontree Stoneboy collaboration. Yes. And we will be meeting you next week. Okay, production.
Chemo pepe